So it's been a long time since we did a video about Tesla or anything on YouTube channel, and last 5 or 6 months they have been more of a downward trend for Tesla. But I think at this point Tesla stock is really poised to go much higher. And from a technical standpoint, if I look at the bigger trend, monthly chart looks like it's about to go positive over the next week or so. So the way I analyze Tesla chart is I first look at the yearly chart. Year to date, Tesla is down 11.67% compared to Nasdaq being positive 8.86%. So there is approximately a 20% performance gap to the downside uh, as far as Tesla is concerned compared to Nasdaq, and that I think is definitely going to close, and Tesla is likely to outperform Nasdaq. So you can reasonably expect about a 20% increase in Tesla shares from current level. That would probably bring it to about 720 at least. That's the worst case scenario, and nothing that I am saying on this video should be construed as an investment advice. I'm not at all interested in giving anybody investment advice. I'm not a registered investment advisor, and I do my own trading. I do not want anybody to follow my lead because a lot of times I'm wrong and I lose money. So it's better for everybody to do their own due diligence. All right, looking back at Tesla chart from a quarterly standpoint, Tesla has been down 2 consecutive quarters in about less than 2 weeks, like 10 days' time. Q2 is going to come to a close. This quarter, Tesla is down about 6.68%, and Q1 it was down. Looking back at the long term chart, there only have been a few times when Tesla has been down consecutive quarters since it started trading in 2010 June. The first time it was down 2 quarters was in 2012, and that was 2012 Q2 and Q3. Subsequently, it went up 4 quarters, like the huge rally of 2013. Then it was down in Q4 of 2013, again rebounded up for subsequent 3 quarters. There were two down quarters in, I think, Q4 of 2014 and Q1 of 2015. Again, it went up. Then 2015 and 2016 was not a good time frame for Tesla longs because it was down straight for 5 quarters, 5 or 6 quarters, and I don't foresee that happening. Again, in 2017, Q3, 4, and then 2018 Q1, it was down, followed by up. So technically, Tesla stock is looking pretty strong. It is forming, it's getting support on the upper Bollinger of quarterly chart. The upper Bollinger is at 622.93 and Tesla closed at 623.31. So that's really good. Anytime a stock gets support on the upper Bollinger on long-term charts like quarterly charts, that's potentially very bullish. Looking at, let's see, looking at monthly charts. So hey, I'm live on this YouTube. You wanna come and join me? Okay, all right, come on down. I just started, so grab a chair. So I was just talking technicals of Tesla. and Tesla is like only down 0.3% month to date, and it's been down for like about 5 months. I think it's poised to go up. That's my opinion. And anyway, and on weekly charts, I'm seeing a constellation of uh, candles, which usually presages a rally to upside. So anyway, what do you want to talk about?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe just do another one.
Well, you're not a huge fan of Elon Musk, right?
I'm I'm concerned about him. That would be a better. I mean, I don't consider myself a fan of anybody. In terms of I think he's done a lot of admirable things, but I don't think that he necessarily has the shareholders' best interest at heart. And he does a lot of things that I would not do in a position of leadership.
Yeah, I mean, that Bitcoin thing, that was really, and I failed to see how serious it was back in February of 2021 when he invested $1.5 billion of Tesla cash in Bitcoin. So that was like, that was not a good decision. I mean, why go into cryptocurrencies?
I mean, the more concern I have is the impulsivity and just seeing things that have consequences for shareholders. Knowing that you have the highest influence of anybody in the world and that a single tweet can move something. And then also, mocking people who've lost money. I that's very easy for someone to do with billions of dollars, but knowing, coming from the psychiatric perspective of what we know cyberbullying and just that what that can do to people emotionally that have lost and are
But in all fairness, they were targeting him. It was the Bitcoin community.
well, don't stoop to their level. I
Right.
mean, seriously, like but it's not just that. I mean, he's not really been kind to people who've lost in the past. Every time the stock is up and it's doing well, it seems that there's unnecessary means to bring it down, and I'm really not sure why or what the motivation is there.
I don't think he has any motivation. It's like, I don't think he really cares much about the stock price, one way or the other.
No, I disagree. Every time it's up, he makes very concerted efforts to bring it down. I mean, every time it's doing well, he times these tweets and it's like, well, we're not performing that well, or we could have delays. I mean, those are the concerns that I have. But I mean, irrelevant of that, I think, if you just look at the way that, say, Bezos or Zuckerberg behaves and their interest in their company, it's different, and they seem to put their shareholders' best interests.
How do you like Tesla products?
I do. I'm interested to see. As I've stated, it's different because you've got Tesla trading as a tech company, but then they're expected to perform like an automobile manufacturer. So as I've stated, I don't see that they have any real competition on the tech side, because but on the automobile side, there's these companies. The reason they've not been able to do it is that their businesses, it's a whole different model. In terms of the product, I mean, we drive nothing but Teslas. There's a lot of progress. I mean, they're great cars to drive. Customer service has been lacking substantially over the last, from when we first bought Teslas and they were more of a niche car. Our experiences were amazing. I mean, the ability, we've been to showrooms all over the world, and just that hands-on experience that we got with the Tesla workers, it's far more. There's a lot less human touch and no, pun intended, in terms of on autonomous cars, but just trying to get basic communication or things done, deliveries. it's not the same experience. When we went to pick up our Model Y, it was more of like an assembly line kind of a deal where you just pulled up like
But that's
Starbucks mobile order.
But that's good.
I disagree. I think people want the car experience, especially if it's their first Tesla. When we bought our Model S, we had somebody came around, they showed us every gizmo on that car, what it did, how it worked. We got this opportunity to, they had a big bow on it. It was a big ordeal getting that car. If you're going to make somebody wait a month, 2 months, 3 months for a car, that experience really makes people feel that it was worth the wait. But then when they're waiting that amount of time and you just pull up and it's like, and a lot of that might have to do with COVID and trying to do, not have any interaction or limit the interaction.
But they're doing all that touchless delivery. I mean, so yeah.
But, so I guess it's just different. It's different is what I'm saying. And the company has got to catch up in terms of their ability to do maintenance on the cars, and then have local delivery sites compared to the demand. And it's a rapidly growing company. And so, I think that there's gonna be a need for more third-party involvement in terms of maintenance and repairs, getting more certified body shops, for instance, maintenance repair centers, and just, those are some of the things that are needed.
Does Tesla remind you of Apple in 2010, 2012, something like
Not
that?
anymore. I don't know. I don't see that now. I see more of its own.
Like as a growth stock. Apple had an enormous runway, and I never invested in Apple, much to my regret. But several years ago, like 6, 7, 8 years ago, I thought that Apple was too commonplace and was late to invest, and I was totally wrong. And you see so many Tesla vehicles on the road every time you go out, like increasing number.
I recently, last night, I saw a Tesla. Some celebrity, Megan Fox, was giving away a Tesla, and
Oh, really?
it was Tesla giveaway. They were giving away a 2020 Model S plus the money to pay for the taxes on the vehicle, which I'm not sure it was in a EV movement. And so I think that the desire for the cars is there.
Oh, it's a highly desirable car. I mean, we put up our Model S for sale, and I don't know, I didn't want my telephone number listed, but somebody put my telephone number, personal cell phone number, and I've been inundated with number of calls and texts that I've been receiving. And of course, I mean, I pulled it off. I don't want to sell any Teslas. I fully subscribe to what Elon Musk says, that Tesla cars are going to be appreciating assets. They're not going to be depreciating. So I'm not parting with any of my Teslas. I mean, so yeah. But I think there's a huge desirability factor. And what do you think about competition?
That's what I was saying. So the hard part about this is that for Tesla, it's traded as a tech stock. However, I mean, it's a company that's manufacturing a product. So that's a little bit, I mean, it's a positive, but it's also one of the areas that I feel that they get held to an unrealistic standard, because they're expected to not only produce the technical product, which they have done, but they're also expected to have the same delivery and,
Right.
reproduction as, say, Ford, Nissan. We talked about this. The competition, I don't think is going to get far in terms of car manufacturer companies unless they're partnered with, say, Apple, Google, a major tech company. I don't see that happening.
Even then, I mean, Google's Waymo has nothing to show for.
But I'm saying if you had Google partner with, say, Honda, at that point, you could probably produce what you needed to.
And it's probably going to happen.
They're going to have to, because these companies say, I mean, even a smaller one like Jaguar, they can appeal to a luxury market. I would be interested in buying a Jaguar luxury EV. But at the same token, for them to be able to produce that technology when that has been the whole driving force behind Tesla, is going to be more difficult because, but it can be done. Yes. I mean, when Henry Ford, we started with that. I mean, it's eventually people can catch up and they can.
I don't think they'll ever catch up to Tesla. Tesla's got an insurmountable lead. And
Well, to say never is unrealistic because I mean everybody eventually catches up.
eventually, but I mean, look at Google. Who has caught up with Google? Who's caught up with Facebook? Who's
In
caught up?
different ways. So I mean, you've got. I mean, I would argue that it depends on which area because
Who's caught up with Apple? I mean, Samsung is close, but I mean,
it depends on
Apple
which
is like
product line because
Amazon.
Okay, let's say. But all of those, they all even compete with each other. You've got Apple Home, you've got Amazon, Echo, Alexa products. Then you've got, Google Home. So, I mean, and it depends because all of those have really diversified their market.
Right, but the core business. So nobody is able to compete with Google in the search business.
Right.
Nobody is able to compete with Amazon on online shopping.
But in some element, what I'm saying is though, the reason is that there's a lot of diversification within those companies, a lot. So in terms of not having just one thing that they can be beat out at. So, I mean, Amazon is producing movies. Apple is now producing
so
movies.
is Tesla. Tesla is hugely diversified. Has got like not only cars, it's got solar products, it's got power walls, and they are doing AI. Then Tesla is actually going to be getting software like margins once they get their FSD.
But I'm saying they're going to need that diversification. It's necessary.
Yeah, I totally believe that Tesla is going to be the single most valuable company on earth in less than 5 years, probably much sooner than that. So, and I mean, the only thing that I would be more interested in investing other than Tesla would be SpaceX if they came public or anything to do with SpaceX. I mean, you could make a lifelong career out of investing in what Elon Musk is doing.
That's a concern for me because I think that we're dealing with someone who has a God complex. And so in terms of that, yes, somebody could do remarkable things, but how much of that are they really doing on their own and how much of that are they just taking credit for?
Well, yeah, but I mean, the guy is surprisingly humble in a lot of respects.
I mean, I saw SNL. I don't construe him as humble, but that's.
Yeah, but anyway, I mean, Steve Jobs, you're not investing in somebody's personality per se. Steve Jobs was not like the nicest guy on earth, but
But we survived without Steve Jobs. I mean, Tim Cook is doing a phenomenal job.
Not anywhere close to what Steve Jobs would have done had he been alive with Apple. I mean, it's like they are building on what the products are, but they're not coming up with any huge breakthrough technology that I know of. I don't follow.
Well, if Tesla's successful, then their AI will come up with its own technology, and you won't have anything to worry about.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the issue I have is we drive nothing but Teslas. We've been long-term supporters of Tesla. However, I think this guy needs to show some more respect to his investors. And
I mean, we lost a bunch of money in September of 2018.
Several times.
Yeah, several times because of that.
But it's because of his impulsivity, and not just that one. I mean, there's been others, and it's the things that are said. There's no reason for crude comments, for late night comments, for bizarre things. I mean, half the time it's there's no reason for that. I mean, you can have a personality, fine, or you can be, but you're representing a company. So if people equate your company with you, at some point you've got to, you got to be respectful, and you can't just say whatever and then constantly, and.
So I was switching gears. I was watching this. You never got a Dave T and
You
good.
told me about it.
Yeah, so Dave T was talking about the wealth. Do you have an opinion on that? You think that Tesla shareholders who have become like, I don't know what their definition of wealth is, wealthy is go through some sort of a crisis?
I think that's a topic for another video. This one is getting pretty long and it would be a
Okay.
video on its own. So
Okay, all right. What's your opinion about this job market here?
well, that's another topic for another video. Again, I don't want to be, this isn't a podcast or anything. So if we make another one, just so people will tune into that's something of interest to me.
You're so busy running a company.
Well, yeah. And that's a big part of it. So I think that's another topic for another video and just kind of explaining why it's important to have a day job and not make your day job monitoring somebody else's day job.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of danger. That's fine. I mean, don't worry about the time.
We can make it a new one after
No, but
this,
I'm
a
just
separate one.
Okay. But talking about danger signs, they were like, I should have listened to myself and gotten out of Tesla in January or February when everybody was so exuberant with the amount of money that they were making. And I never beat myself up for the mistakes that I make because that's not how you become successful. I mean, everybody makes mistakes. The last 5 6 months have been really down for Tesla longs, and I think the next few months are going to be really, really good. And that's just a strong feeling I have on the basis of fundamentals as well as technicals. Technically, you'll get super bored if I go into any
Yeah,
specifics.
it's
But
just another video.
all right, okay, whatever. We'll rarely make any videos because we get nothing out of it. It's like we don't care about monetizing this or anything, so we just do it for
No,
the
I'm
heck of
saying
it.
we make
Yeah.
another one after this so that it
Okay,
has
all
a
right.
separate
Well,
content.
whatever. All right. Well, let's see what happens.
Nobody tunes in